Number next, we're effervescence. This is over here. She just said something about some effervescence. Mail call.
Just skip right into it.
SRJ Woodwork sent me 2 stickers, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Put them in the shop. Chris, I don't want to say his last name because I don't know if he wanted everybody to know, but Deputy Chris, he sent me from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department patches for their jail staff, for their officers, and the SWAT team. So that's awesome. And then he also sent me 2 challenge coins from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office that'll go in the collection.
What'd you
right
just
over
say?
There. That's what I said. Also, he sent a shirt. It says it's got St. Michael on the back and then LASD on the front, if you can see it. Right there. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. If I don't put this stuff in the floor, I'll fiddle with it the whole show.
You're a fiddler.
There it is. All of it's got to go.
Such a fiddler.
All right. So tonight's show is 5 things your mama didn't tell you. And I almost put it as your mama didn't tell you, but I put you instead of ya.
You should have put ya.
I should have put
ya.
Yeah.
Yo.
No. Yo.
Yo.
Yo mama. You in the South. Yo mama.
Yo mama. Not yo.
Not yo mama. That's a bad joke.
Lloyd's in the house.
Yo mama's a bad joke. Yo is
Yo mama is a bad joke.
Rude. Well,
mama
yo
is
mama
bad.
so no. Better not do that.
We better not do that. We can get in trouble.
Yeah, I get ugly quick.
That could.
Yo.
I almost said something because that could. Never mind.
Rude.
Shh. Be quiet, Amy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zip it.
Yep.
Zip.
If you haven't already, be sure to drop those states in the chat if you're on Facebook or on YouTube so that we can give you a shout out later in the show. Crazy times.
We got a new backdrop, if you haven't noticed.
It's not finished.
It's not finished, but we will hopefully be able to finish it before next week. We're going to go ahead and tile the rest of this up with these octagonal thingamajiggers.
They're not octagons.
Well, they are octagons. Hexagons.
Yeah.
Hexagons.
Octagon has 8 sides.
3, 4, 5, 6. Hexagons. Yeah. So we're going to put those up on this side too and kind of finish up the look. So
yeah.
Just sprucing things up.
Whew. Somebody says that it's 16 inches of snow where they're at in 3 hours.
I'm sorry.
Holy cow.
It's 70 degrees here.
That's a lot of snow. Huh? Mo hasn't sent one.
We're waiting on the sawdust spotlight.
Yeah, we haven't received it yet, but I will make sure she gets one sent. Don't mess with my pen.
Number 1 thing your mama didn't tell you about woodworking is getting sales and business momentum ain't easy. It's not always easy. Sometimes it takes time to figure out the right products that sell in your area, and it just takes time to build the business up and to get your name out there. I know when we first started, I've talked about it before, but the first product I made sold pretty quick. So I made several of those, but there was some trial and error there where I would build something and it would just sit, and I would never get any nibbles on it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to buy it. And I was like, man, I missed that one. It would take a while to sell some of that stuff. And it's frustrating when you're starting out and you're trying to make a little bit of money and stuff ain't selling. And it's just hard to figure out what's going to be popular in your area. And sometimes it just takes trial and error. It's just, you can kind of look at the trends and look online and see what other people are selling and try to jump on that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And then sometimes you just stumble on something like our stove covers and it just takes off on you. But that took a while. That took probably, a good year and a half before 2 years maybe before she come up with the stove cover idea thing. And then once we did that, we was off to the races. But it took a while. It was a struggle. So just if you're,
it's easy to give up.
It is easy to give up. It's easier to give up than to keep going.
Yeah.
I know. But that goes with anything. It goes with working out. It goes with dieting. It goes with pursuing your dreams. Any of that stuff is when the going is tough. That's when most people
get going.
They get going. They don't want to jump in there and do it because it's hard. It's not easy. And it's one of those things you gotta just kind of persevere through that stuff.
She was supposed to send it to you.
I got it. I can't show it.
Oh. She sent something you can't put on there.
Mm-hmm.
Mo, you can't send that.
It's got a...
It's got a weapon in there.
Yeah, I can't show that on YouTube. They don't like it.
I'm texting her now.
Try again. It's a cool project, though.
It really is.
Go check it out. It's on the community. If you're not a member of our Facebook community, it's facebook.com/groups/731woodworks. We keep everything positive there, and I think you have to answer a couple questions.
2 questions.
Although somebody said in the moderator chat that they were changing the rules on that stuff, so I'm not sure if we still have to answer questions or not. Thank you, Michael.
She said it. She don't know. We let our daughter pick the sawdust spotlight every week.
She's unbiased.
So, yes.
She doesn't know anything about woodworking.
And she's fighting for this one out.
She's like, it just looks cool. I like it.
She's fighting for it, y'all. She's being a rebel. She's kind of stubborn and pig-headed. She gets that from him.
The backdrop we got from stageskins.com. We bought this a couple weeks. Well, been a few weeks now. We just now got it up. We got the light from Sweetwater, one of the best companies I've ever dealt with. And
he loves Sweetwater.
Man, I like the people. They nice. And we're gonna order another set of these tile things and hang them on this side of the wall.
Y'all need to reach out to Sweetwater and tell them how much 731 loves them.
I think they're awesome.
Yeah, y'all need to just reach out to Sweetwater. Tell them that.
Bing.
She send you again.
Yeah. Try this. I'm trying to get the sawdust spotlight in here before we continue on. If you have any questions, we're always welcome, open to answer questions for you.
She said that's right.
Sawdust spotlight. Oh man, I didn't get his name. Their name. I can't get it. What am I doing?
Oh Lord.
Buttons. I need to push a button. Dan McCartan, right? Check that out. He put his own spin on one of our tables there. It's a coffee table, breadboard ends. I like the contrasting colors. And he did a really good job. Check that out. Good job, man. Good job staging, too. I like that staging. You got it set up to see.
You sounded like donkey. I like that rock. That's a nice
That's a nice boulder. I like that boulder. That's a
That's
nice
it,
boulder.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You're funny.
Number two thing your mama didn't tell you about woodworking.
Somebody said their mama didn't tell them anything about woodworking.
Well, mine didn't either.
Mine didn't either.
Well, we got the top 5 here for you. The number 2 thing your mama didn't tell you about woodworking. One, if you're in business now, if you're just doing this for a hobby and giving it to friends and family as gifts, that's totally opposite of what I'm fixing to tell you here. Hire an accountant. It make your life much easier. We didn't for 4 years, and we did all our own taxes, all our own accounting. And while she did a good job with it, we didn't have any issues, but it starts to become a lot when you start, especially when you're buying and selling or buying supplies, tools, things like that. And then you start actually bringing in money too. It gets really complicated. And the reason I say hire an accountant, a business accountant, is because once you do that, and if you have your business set up correctly, then there's tax breaks that they can do for you. I'm not a tax person, so I'm not giving tax advice, but there's tax breaks that they know about that we didn't know about or didn't have any clue of that will actually help you keep more of your money. And an accountant will more than pay for themselves. So I would strongly suggest finding a good reputable accountant in your area and using them for your business side of your stuff. And on that, I recommend also setting it up as a business. We've been sole proprietor for quite a while. And while that works, it basically lumps all your, in Arkansas, it lumps all your taxes and your personal and business taxes into the same pool. It's just like they're one and the same. And so there's no way to really separate those out. When you set up your business LLC or however you want to do it, then you're able to separate those things out and basically pay yourself out of the business. And there's just a whole lot of stuff that an accountant can do for you.
I know. I was listening to you when I stepped out, but we can't stress enough how important it is on this part, guys. I
ain't never seen my accountant, but the first time I seen him, I'm gonna hug his neck.
I'm telling you. We were so apprehensive at hiring someone.
It was more of a control thing, I think, than anything. It's like I was like, I don't trust anybody. I don't, I just want it all I want to know everything.
Not just that, but like, I don't know. I felt like, well, they're just there really to make money. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's kind of
I
control.
think we've had some bad experiences with CPAs
I don't know.
before
I
or
don't
something.
think we have, because we haven't really used one.
No, when I was younger, like
maybe, but I don't know. Find somebody really good. Don't just step into some kind of big chain store that.
I'm glad you didn't mention names. I was worried
does
there for
things,
a second.
Some big chain thing, or somebody that does something out of their garage 3 months out of the year. Find somebody very reputable that is good. We were very thankful that somebody referred somebody to us, somebody that we trusted referred somebody, and we are so incredibly thankful for the accountant that we have been in contact with and found. But it was a game changer.
I'll tell you a horror story real quick, okay? I'm not going to call the name of the company because I don't want to do that.
No.
But, all right. So this year, starting in 2022, I knew that we needed to change things on the business side and make it, we need to separate it like we was talking about. So I had already set up 731 LLC and we got all that set up last year in preparation for 2022. And I knew that I wanted to do it right starting January 1st as far as separating everything. And that way,
and to pay you a payroll check.
To pay a salary and to pay payroll taxes and all that stuff. So I knew I needed to do that properly. And so I started looking online and I found a company online, and it was just I don't even know how big they are. Anyway, we talked about it.
I wasn't here.
She wasn't here, but we did talk about it. And she's like, yes, let's do this. And so during the call, the guy I got on the call was extremely knowledgeable, answered all of my questions, was like on top of his game. So I signed up with them.
Without me here. I wasn't here.
No, she wasn't here, but it doesn't matter at that point. We'd already talked about it, and you'd agreed to go with it. You'd already agreed. She already agreed. I paid these people, and then we got in a call with our actual online accountant, right? This guy calls us, and man, he's
belching on the phone.
I was really taken aback at the unprofessionalism. Like, he was belching on the phone. He couldn't answer the questions. He sounded extremely distracted or maybe impaired.
And then he's like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to set you up. We're going to backdate it. I'm going to go ahead and
backdate things.
I'm going to go ahead and email it to you right now with an explanation on it, and sends it to us and says, we want you to sign this and go ahead and send it in to the IRS. And I told him, I said, some don't feel right.
Yeah.
And so I immediately started questioning the guy. He didn't like it that I questioned him. And I told him, I said, request a refund right now, because he prepaid thousands of dollars.
Pay a pretty good chunk for
a
year's worth of service.
I was so mad when I found out what he had done. And he was able to get almost a full refund.
All but $100.
All but $100 back. And I said, call that accountant that we had been referred to. I was like, call him right now. And I was so mad. And when he contacted the other accountant, he said, well, here's what we need to do. And we asked him about that backdating thing. He said, no. He said, that would have sparked a whole lot of problems for your business. It would have done all this. I mean, we would have been in a lot of trouble. Find somebody reputable. Find somebody reputable.
Find somebody reputable. That's the moral of the story.
Whew.
And
it would have been bad.
So the online thing, like I'm telling you, man, these people, the initial sales guy, I guess is who it was, was like legit, like knew everything, talked very professional.
He sounded pretty.
Like, yeah, he made it sound right. And then because I was like, hey, I want to do LLC. I want to, separate everything. This is how I want to do it. This is what we want to do. But see, they never talked about any of the payroll taxes, any of that stuff on that. I was like, man. So we got lucky. We got very blessed. Anyway, that's number 2. Hire an accountant.
That was a big one.
It's bigger than you think. And even if you have a side hustle, a side business, and you're making profits and you're buying supplies, like we should have done it years ago and separated everything out. It would have made so much. It would have just been better off. We'd have saved a lot of money actually, and been able to keep a lot more than we were paying in taxes. Yeah,
because we thought that hiring an accountant meant that we were going to be out even more money. We were like, well, we're already having to pay in taxes on this extra income we're getting. Now we're going to have to pay an accountant too. they have tax breaks that they know about that we have no idea about.
Yep.
He saved us so much money that we had no idea we could save. There's so many different credits out there that we have no idea about. You might, if you know those tax laws and all those tax credits and stuff, you know, more, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
power to you. We just didn't. So, whew. I'm just saying.
Number 3 on the list, things Mama didn't tell you. Diversify your income streams. This is something that I've purposely done since really early on, especially with the channel, but also with the business YouTube, the woodworking side of the business. I wanted to be able to have local streams of income as well as online streams. I set up an Etsy store really early on. I've got an Etsy video. If you want to just search 731 Etsy, you'll be able to see it. But it most of that stuff still holds true. It's a little older. I probably need to do an updated one. But the just getting your store started, it takes a while to start gaining momentum. And Etsy likes to see new stuff popping up on your store. They like to see activity on your store. But those things like that brought in a significant amount of money when I was building things just for the stove covers for the business. And then we was also selling locally. And now as a channel, if you're into content creation, sign up with affiliates. You can get some sponsor deals, especially as you start gaining traction. You don't even really have to have a huge channel to get a sponsor deal. You can have, smaller channels can get them. Affiliates, obviously, and then what was it? Ads once you get monetized on YouTube. Just kind of split everything up so that you're not depending on one thing. So, like, just for instance, on this business, the content creation side, just to draw the curtain a little bit back, we don't just depend on ad money from YouTube. If that was the case, then I wouldn't do this full time. I mean, it's a good chunk, but it's not the main portion. It's not everything, I guess is what I'm getting at. So be able to diversify your income. Like if you're just doing woodworking and not content, then have you a couple of things coming in, something like Etsy is a good option.
Yep. Really quick, do a couple of questions.
Sweet.
Hold on. I had one on here.
Married Man says, do you have a separate checking account for your business? Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We do.
And the only transactions that happen in that account are business related only.
Yep.
That's one of the things.
Don't mix them.
Yeah, that's one of the things we were doing previously because everything was all lumped. I had an account that was woodworking account, but we would use it for different things.
Interchangeably. I mean, we had a separate account that we, use for our main account that we pay bills in from. But like if he wanted to order me a gift or we decided to go on vacation and that's where extra money is, we would use that. But once we got the accountant, he was like, you have got to have a separate account that is nothing but straight business. Well, and so
that also, the reason being is if, say, you do get audited and they're like, well, what is this, handbag you bought? Why did the business need that?
Why you got to throw my handbag under the bus there?
What's this pair of work boots you bought?
Thank you.
Well, work boots will be for the business. What's this iPad you bought? Whatever it is.
Well, thrown under the bus by the handbag. Oh, I'm just saying there.
Just keep them separated. It makes your accountant's life easier, and it keeps the IRS a little more happy.
We are just very, very, very cautious because we're very cautious about making sure that Uncle Sam gets everything he's supposed to get because we don't want any trouble.
Cowboy boots, that's right.
Pay everything you're supposed to pay. Be as honest as you can because if they ever come back and say, well, you didn't do this right, we want to be able to say we did everything that we thought we were doing right. If there's a mistake anywhere, it was a mistake. It was nothing that we did to deceive anything because that's the absolute truth. So make sure you do everything according to what you think is the absolute truth of what needs to be done. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we just try to do it right.
Be truthful. Be honest.
And that stuff is, it's pretty simple as far as long as your bookkeeping is right. It should be just fine.
Yeah. Gary Gunton says, hey, everyone. I finally was able to get on here with everyone live. I hope my messages are going through. What's up, Gary? Thank you, Clark. Mr. Clark Duncan says, my mama has always endorsed multiple streams of income. Mama also says quality over quantity. Allow God to use your woodworking to bless and build your family wealth.
Thank you.
Yep. 4321 says, at Mo, Coach is a handbag, right? One that maybe he should buy. Should buy Amy.
4321 said it was for Boss's Appreciation Day.
For Boss's Appreciation Day?
Yeah.
Where does it say that?
Handbag is for Boss's Appreciation
Oh,
Day.
that would be wonderful. We got to check with the accountant about that one. That would be awesome.
That's hilarious.
Okay, hold on. There was another question on here. I'm trying to get back to it. Chris Brown says, how do you tame the sawdust coming off your DeWalt miter saw on a beginner shoestring budget? Looking for ideas.
So mine's connected to essentially a shop vac, and it helps a lot. The DeWalt's pretty good with dust collection. It's going to be like most of it goes in that little port. Now there's going to be some. I still have some that flies out onto the top of the miter station, but most of it goes in the little port if you get you a decent shop vac. I would recommend even getting a dust deputy or a dust right separator. That'll help keep your shop vac clean. Right now I'm using a DeWalt dust extractor, and it's got like little dual filters and all that, but I actually do have plans to change mine out for something else with a bag. So we may do that later down the road, but a shop vac will work, long story short.
Jamie is asking how my jaw is doing. Says it sounds a heck of a lot better. Went and had x-rays yesterday. The break is healing great on its own. Everything's looking good.
Yep.
Still a little bit too much swelling to do a impression, so I have to go back in 1 week. But they said everything is tracking and doing good. So thank you for asking.
Gary Gilton says, does the small woodworking projects make more revenue than the big ones? Well, it just depends, I guess, on how many you can crank out and how many you can sell. Now, I made decent money making dining tables and, end tables and coffee tables, stuff like that locally. But the stove covers, which were small, build them in an hour, shippable, then, yeah, we generated quite a bit of income, more than the bigger projects overall. But once those took off, I basically stopped doing the other stuff unless it was just something I really wanted to build.
I think it's Galton.
I'm sorry, Galton.
Galton, maybe.
So I guess it just depends on what you're able to sell locally or online.
Gary, tell me if it's Galton. Maybe. I don't know. They said that we can build a handbag storage unit, and then we can write off the handbag as being a marketing tool for the pictures.
You guys are thinking outside the box.
I like all these ideas.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm loving all the ideas.
The good thing is tools you can write those off.
Our moderator, Stephanie, is reminding everyone to hit that like button. Let me do that real quick because I had not done that yet. Oh, I had already done it. Then I unliked it, and I liked it again, though. I liked it again.
You just hurt us. You hurt us bad.
Oops. I fixed it.
What number are we on? 4? We on 4 already?
I don't know. I think you did 3.
Yeah, diversify.
Yeah. You haven't done 4 yet. Thank you, Mooseworks. Say it likes the background.
Thank you.
Oh, Gary said I still didn't do it right. I still don't know. Galton?
No. GUI. You're an English teacher.
But it looks like an L in parentheses. Is that supposed to be an I or an L?
GUITON.
That looks like an L.
That does not look like an L.
There's no dot above it.
Here, use my glasses.
Is it GUL or GUI?
He says Gary.
Oh, it's an I there.
Giatin. Sorry, Gary. Jim C says, what was the shipping cost for stove covers, U.S. Post Office
Gary,
or UPS?
we need you to call us.
I use USPS because we don't have we have a UPS drop. It's just extremely difficult to drop things there. I use USPS priority shipping, and so from Arkansas to say Mississippi or Missouri was like $16 at the time, and then from Arkansas to New York or California was like $50. So there's a huge spread there. So basically, what I did for Etsy was, if you offer free shipping, your listings get prioritized more. And so I offered free shipping, and I just basically split the difference on 16 versus 50, what's in the middle, and then I added that on to the cost of the stove cover that I wanted to get. So the ones that went a shorter distance, I would make a little more on, and the ones that went a longer distance, I'd make a little less on, and it kind of balanced itself out.
Virginia Fry says, hey, y'all, first time I've
Hey,
ever
y'all.
caught you live. God bless both of you.
Thank you, Miss.
So glad to have you with us live, Miss Virginia.
Thank you.
Miss Ann is here. She says, thanks for the reminder. I smashed that button. Miss Ann is one of our favorite mamas. She's on here with us tonight. So, they like that you said use my glasses. Oh, my goodness. Somebody asked, Rich asked, do y'all get to write off part of your mortgage? We don't write off part of our mortgage, but we do get to use part of our square footage. So
I assume we do.
Yeah. So what you do, you get to use.
Careful on tax advice.
Oh no, we're not giving tax advice, but this is what I gave to the accountant. I don't know what he used because I didn't look, but I gave him our square footage and then of our total square footage, and then I gave him the square footage that we use for our office in here and the shop outside. I also gave him all of our electric bills for the whole year, our internet service bills.
Cell phone.
Were there your cell phone? Were there any others? And I think that's it. I gave all of those to him and told him if any of those could be used, because I told him, like, there's a certain percentage that you can take in. And when I did our taxes, I just put it into the online system and let it calculate it. And so I gave him all of those bills and then told him to do with it what he could. So I don't know how much he used.
He worked his magic.
Yeah. So if you have a home office, give it to your accountant and see what they can do with it, because that's what we did. I just gave him my square footage and what we used for this. So we just measured our office and our shop and gave them our total house and said, this is what we use for this. This is what we've got. We didn't do anything, but we have never counted any of our mortgage.
No, I don't know if we can do that or not.
I don't either. We gave him our mortgage statement. Now, whether or not he did count part of it, I have no idea.
Welcome, Melissa Pittman, first time. Number 4 on the list that Mama didn't tell you about woodworking is you don't have to give the family discount. It's okay not to make everyone happy, including Mama.
Including your mama.
Unless you're
Miss Ann.
Miss Ann.
If you are Miss Ann, Jason. If Miss Ann is your mama, Jason.
Gotta make her happy.
Gotta make her happy.
Gotta make her happy.
That was our thing before the show started.
Yeah, we said it.
Miss Ann, that was the one thing we said before the show tonight was you don't always have to make your mama happy unless
you're Miss Ann.
You're Miss Ann. You got to make her happy.
Now, in all seriousness, on the family discount, a lot of people expect you, and it's okay to give people discounts. I'm not saying it's not, but they expect it for nothing sometimes. Yeah. They want you to build it and say, you just spent $200 on lumber, which is now not outside the box, and they want you to build it for $100, and you're like, I'm trying to grow a business. I really can't do that right now. It's an awkward conversation sometimes, but it's okay to say, you know what, I'm really trying to make this business grow, and if I take this $100 hit, it's really going to hurt me this month, and I can't do that. I'm sorry. Just kind of just explain to them, let them know that you just can't. You just can't.
So there's a comment that I'm not too happy with that's on here.
Where's that?
Mackenzie McClain made a comment.
What's she comment?
She said, so does that mean that doesn't apply to me as well?
What?
That you don't have to make your mama happy.
No. That's our daughter, by the way.
Mackenzie McClain. Come say that to my face.
That's funny.
No, Mo, you don't always have to make your mama happy, but your mama is always going to be in your corner. So do with that as you will. Jim Williams says banner. Uh-oh, we're going to ban you, Mo. That's funny.
She could get muted, though.
Alien leader said you better run. That's funny.
Jeremy Godwin says, I appreciate y'all so much. Because of your influence, I've launched my first ever side hustle woodworking business outside of full-time ministry work. It's awesome, man. Good job.
Samantha says, my boyfriend finally finished one of his mini projects now. Yay. Everybody, let's hear it for Samantha's boyfriend. Whoop, whoop. That's awesome.
It's hard when you're dealing with friends and family, especially when you start doing stuff like this. You're getting you're starting to try to build your business and they're wanting you to build stuff or make stuff for them. And it can be hard. It doesn't have to be. It's not always difficult. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I'd be happy to do that for you. But, sometimes it's like.
But you know what? Out of everybody that's going to stiff you, family or friends are going to be the ones to do it.
Sometimes. Some family, some friends. Not all.
Not all. But if anybody's going to stiff you, it's going to be one of them. Telling you. Somebody on here said it was Married Man said charge family and friends double. They should be helping you get started, not the other way around. I mean, it's hard because you want to give family and friends discounts because you care about them. I mean, you do. You honestly care about them. And a lot of times family and friends want to pay you a little extra because they care about you and they want to help you get started. But then sometimes you give them a price and they're like, well, dang, they're really overcharging me because they don't understand the price of everything. They don't understand.
And sometimes it may just need you to explain it. Say, okay, the lumber is like really high right now.
It's kind of hard sometimes. Hey.
What's up?
You know what time it is?
Power tip time.
Power tip time.
You got the power tip?
Psst, you got it. I was just reading Stephanie's thing. Psst, anyone know what time it is?
The power tip is to always
invest.
Reinvest in yourself.
Always.
/business. That's I don't know. I give that advice all the time because it's worked for us, and we've since day one, since the first project sold, I took the money and put it right back into the business and buying supplies and tools as we go along, and it's just as it goes and your business grows, you're able to do that a little more. Not saying it's perfectly okay to use that money for bills and taking your wife on a date or vacations and whatever you can do.
Yeah. But
the business to grow has to be fed, and the only way to grow a business I know of is feed it money. You give it, equipment and supplies, stuff like that, as you're always trying to improve your skills and your business, and also reinvest in learning new skills and stretching yourself and not being afraid to give a try to a project that you think is maybe just a little outside your comfort zone. Because I've done that many, most every project I've done. I feel like it's outside my expertise or my skill level. And sometimes you'll surprise yourself. And sometimes you find out, yep, that probably was outside my skill level. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's so easy, I think, sometimes when you're getting started and you've been broke, like us.
A joke.
Broke
was a joke.
And you make that little bit extra money and you so bad maybe have wanted something and you want to go out immediately and buy that thing that you wanted. It's so easy to go spend that money on that and not reinvest that money back into wood again. Because you're like, man, I don't want to buy raw materials again.
I want that new shiny saw.
I just turned it into something already. I don't want to go buy raw materials again. And especially now that they cost so much. And sometimes it feels like it sucks real bad. But you have to remember that you're building your business and you're building it from scratch or scraps. And so it's tough.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. But the struggle makes it worth it.
It does.
Mr. Mike Adams says, is it okay to make stove covers out of pine? I made them out of spruce, which is very similar to pine. They work. I made hundreds of them out of spruce, so that's what I would do. Jessica Ann O'Brien says, have you ever worked with a coach? I haven't used a coach per se, but I did join a program called Channel Jumpstarts by Daryl Eves. It's about building your YouTube channel. We went through it early last year, and it really helped the channel. It really helped me understand how to grow a YouTube channel and what types of content how to figure out what types of content work, what don't. It's a whole, like a 12-week program. So it's not really a coach, but kinda it is. And we're I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't want to talk about that part yet.
So all of you that are prayer warriors, if you will, say a prayer for PJ. She said, if you don't mind, say a prayer for me. I've got some health problems going on. That's PJ Barker. She's on here with us every week, and we appreciate her being here with us. We love her a lot. I like PJ. She's always, she's always got my back on here. And we got her. So y'all say a prayer for PJ.
4321 says, do you see it becoming tougher to sell items with the changing economy and money maybe getting tight for people? Yes.
Yeah.
Even so, so like on our website, we have build plans available, and we sell those in various ways, bundles and individual plans, things like that. We have some free ones too. But yeah, I actually saw, we talked about it, when lumber started going back up in, was it March, February, end of February, March, like we saw the plant sales dip. Like you could just watch it. It just, and then now it kind of does this all year anyway, but it really had a pretty good sharp decline. And I think that it had a lot to do with the money getting tight and that kind of stuff. So especially right after Christmas, January, February area, and you'll even see it if you have a YouTube channel that's monetized. You'll see your ad rates drop on how much per 1,000 views you get. So like some channels get $5 per 1,000, some get 30 per 1,000. Just depends on your niche, and you'll see it drop right after Christmas because all the ad buys are going away because they bought them all for the last quarter of the year, Christmas time, stuff like that. So you'll see that little ebb and flow there. But yeah, we've seen a little bit of a dip.
Hey, Chubby Beaver. Glad to have you with us. Don't you love that name?
Yeah, it made me chuckle.
Chubby Beaver. Oh, I can say
That's
that.
hilarious.
I love it.
Good times.
Oh, goodness. Question: do wives count if they are also moms? If it normally in my best interest to keep her happy.
Always keep her happy. Why? Yeah, you better keep your wife happy before you keep your mama happy. Just saying.
Ooh, that's a loaded statement right there, though. You better be careful saying stuff like
you,
that.
You better. Who you live with? Who you live with? Your mama or your wife?
You're going to get some people in trouble. You better not pit wives against mamas.
I'm not saying to pit them against each other. I'm saying who you live with.
That's what you just said.
Who would you rather me make happy?
Oh, I know who you going to make happy.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
But me and your mama got along real good, so I like your mama a lot.
That's what I'm talking about.
I got blessed in the in-law section. See, I got very blessed there. So, him on the other hand, he got my mama as his mother-in-law.
Easy.
Bless it.
King Clack's got I like your logo over there. King Clack's got says, I currently own a cabinet refinishing business. I want to slow down. Where are you going now? He wants to slow down and move forward woodworking. The question is, how do you transition from one line of business to the other? Man, it's a slow process, and you already have probably some woodworking tools and things, so you're kind of ahead of the game there. The way we did it, the way I transitioned out of law enforcement into this was slow and steady wins the race, and just slow and steady building things, just getting new customers and building up the Etsy store, and then eventually the YouTube channel building up, and just affiliates and things like that. Just kind of diversifying your income streams. Kind of everything we've talked about so far is kind of the way I would go about it. Some of the people in the chat may have you better suggestions than me. She got a little cold.
Yes. It's awful. I don't have a cold. I have a sinus infection from the stupid pollen.
She was outside blowing pollen around.
I had to get the pollen off our back porch, and it gave me a stupid sinus infection. Ugh.
Bryce Jacobs says, oh, you're not spamming. He wants to know about books for woodworking. If anybody has suggestions for books.
Some?
Yeah, I've got several, but they're not in here. I haven't read them yet. I couldn't even tell you who the...
I'll tell Mo to send me the names of them.
I couldn't tell you.
Are they on your nightstand?
Yeah, but I don't know if they're good or not. So I don't want to recommend them.
Oh, okay.
I just got one yesterday.
Who asked that? Bryce. Bryce, when will you read them, you think?
I'll peruse them over the next few weeks. Just email me, Bryce.
Yeah.
And I'll get you the links to the ones I bought. You can check them out and read the reviews.
Low Fat Logan. Oh my gosh, I love that name. Jeez, what a wonderful name. Low Fat Logan says, any tips for a younger woodworker with a college type budget? 21 and under for reference, but I can't talk.
And yonder?
Yonder. Low Fat Logan wants to know.
I would, So
college budget.
I would assume your space is limited on where you're building at. Cutting boards are going to be popular.
Home.
We may, but I don't know what type of. I'm assuming much here. You're on a low budget, so you're going to want to use lesser cost materials. Stove covers were huge for me, man. I'm telling you, and you watch the 2.0 build, it's the exact same. You build them like that. If you can stage those up on a stove and take some good pictures of them, for me, those things sold very well. And from people that's buying the plans and I talked to back and forth, they say that they sell well for them too, that you can build those pretty cheaply. Cutting boards are always popular, especially if you can, as young as you are, put yourself out there a little bit, go to some real estate agents and tell them that you're making cutting boards and try to work out a deal with them to supply them with cutting boards for their new clients. Jeannie and Davis, we had them as a guest on the show a few weeks ago. They did that or doing that. That's kind of one of the ways they're bringing in money and stuff like that. Just I would keep it fairly small because you can build them quicker and you don't have to worry about building big, large items. You can always expand up to that later.
Mr. Tom is on. He says, I joined late. Are you feeling better this week, Miss 731? Yes. Sunday was my first day that I felt some relief. But I went back yesterday for x-rays. Everything is tracking and my broken bone is healing. I still can't open my mouth all the way, and I can tell I'm still holding it weird when I talk. I can still tell, but I'm feeling much better.
Somebody asked me twice, and I meant to ask you to answer the question on an outdoor finish, a good outdoor finish. If it's a clear coat you're looking for, spar urethane's a good option. If it's just to treat pine with, I've had Cabot wood oil. They sell it at Lowe's, I think, or Home Depot, maybe both. That's what we use on our outdoor furniture, and it's holding up extremely well. We got a year in now on the sectional that we built, and it still looks great. It still looks just like the day I put it on the deck. Like it's held up excellent. So I'm really a big fan of the Cabot wood oil, and that's the only thing I did was I sprayed it on, let it dry it took 48 hours or something, didn't it, to dry? And then once it's dry,
done wonderful.
Man, it's good stuff.
Was that the answer to Dylan? Any exterior top coat?
Yeah. Okay. Top coat, just spar urethane.
Yeah. Mill Pond Woodcraft says, Amy, aren't your in-laws outlaws? Yep.
Yes, they are.
Yep. That's right. In-laws are outlaws. Outlaws for in-laws.
Jay Eckert says, does the college have wood shop or woodworking class?
Ooh,
I don't know.
That would be cool to know.
Yeah, I don't know if colleges do that or not. Some might.
Rich said, Jeannie and Davis just sold a $6,000 table. Insane.
That's cool.
Yeah, some people, oh yeah, somebody said I need to wear a mask when I'm dealing with pollen. That's what I should have done.
Should have given my RZ mask.
I'm telling you. Otherwise I wouldn't sound stupid like this. Some people do really well with those big projects like that. They won't even fool with a small project. Somebody that we went to a class with a while back said that he won't even mess with a little project. He will only do these multi-$1,000 projects. That's all he'll mess with. He won't mess with anything small because he thinks it's not worth his time to do things like we've done. But
everybody's got their own approach.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can do it, man,
it's whatever you want to do, what you're comfortable with.
If I could make one table a month for $6,000, I'd make one table a month for $6,000.
We're not going to sell that around here.
Yeah.
There's no way that in South Arkansas, in Monticello, you're going to sell a table for $6,000. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen here.
It would be like a once in a lifetime sale if it happened.
Yeah,
yes, somebody asked if they could send something. If we had a P.O. box, it's P.O. Box 731, Monticello, Arkansas, 71657. 71657 is the zip code.
Yeah, Steph. I took some Benadryl before the show, hoping it would help.
It did help a little.
It did help a little, but I keep having to run out because I keep getting like. Michael wants to know: do you think it's too soon to start batching small projects or items for Christmas, for the Christmas season?
If you got a place to store them, I
don't think it's too soon.
I mean, if you're expecting big sales and you got a place to store them, I just made this. Oh man, I wish I had that. A little bandsaw. I'm gonna release a short on this. I filmed a short. It's edited. It's uploaded. All I gotta do is hit release. It's a Bandsaw Reindeer. I actually got the plans from. Man, I feel really bad. I bought them from somebody else, and it was basically a template. You can take it on a piece of a 2x4, which I used leopard wood, but you can put it on a piece of 2x4 and cut these out, following the design on a bandsaw, and it's just It's just a really cool project, and she loves Christmas stuff and reindeer and leopard wood. So, without further ado,
his name is Mistletoe McJingle.
I named him.
Yep, he named him. Can you see him really good?
Let's see if we can hold him up there. Yeah, here you go. It's kind of blurry up there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so the way this works.
So cute.
The way this works is on the bandsaw, you wind up drilling a hole with the Forstner bit here and here. And then you follow the pattern and just cut out this shape on both of them. And then, of course, the legs. You wind up cutting out the horns and all that stuff. It come out excellent. On the community tab, there's going to be a really good picture of this in a few days. I've got it scheduled to release. And then also the short, I'll release it. But anyway, when the community post comes out, I've already linked it to the channel.
You're really rough with him.
If you just search Bandsaw Reindeer, it'll be one of the top results that you see there. Woodworking, man, I don't know. Anyway, I use his stuff. So
I love him. He's going to sit on my desk all year long just to keep the spirit alive.
My Boy Builder says it's okay to get tools from marketplace use. Absolutely. As long as they're good. As long as they work, man, there's nothing wrong with that. Just be careful.
Just make sure they work.
I would meet at a really good public location. I wouldn't meet no shady place. And of course, table saws and stuff like that, you're going to have to go to pick them up wherever they're at. But yep. But I was going to say something else about that. A deer. Anyway, there's that.
Vincent says, sorry I'm late to the party. Welcome to the party.
Yep. Number 5 tip. We never got to number 5.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, number 5 thing your mama didn't tell you about woodworking is, this is from Miss Stephanie, our moderator. She says,
it was a good one.
It was. So mama didn't tell you, you're probably going to be your own worst enemy. Go easy on yourself. Give yourself grace. That's a good one because I am by far the hardest person on myself. And
yes,
she is the hardest person on herself. When I build something, I can point the mistakes and the errors in this reindeer right here, right now. I can see them.
You better
I know where they're at.
Leave him alone.
I know where McJingles' errors are. And that's in everything I built. This desk, that end table right there, all the stuff in the house like that I built 4 or 5 years ago. I can walk in there and say, yep, that's where I messed up on this one. That's where I messed up on this one. So yeah, we can be our own worst enemy for sure.
He is. He always finds what's wrong instead of seeing everything that's so wonderful and good about things that he's done.
But in my defense,
it irritates me sometimes. I'm like, why can't you see how wonderful things are sometimes?
In my defense, that's how
both do that.
I look at it. I'm like, man, I could have done so better. And next time I will, because I know where I messed up. Mr. Clark Duncan says, Matt, have you split wood thickness with your bandsaw? Yes, we did. That's actually, was it that one? Yep. Resawed a little bit on that. And then this morning, I actually resawed some walnut and made some coasters out of it. And they're over there. They're not within arm's reach, but yeah, I have. And it works really well. I'm very pleased with it.
Barber wants to know what number 4 was.
Number 4, Mama didn't tell you. Mama didn't tell you have to give the family discount. Or you don't have to give the family friend discount. Yeah.
And you don't have to make everyone happy, including your mama, unless
you're Miss Ann.
You're Miss Ann.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Jason, you have to make your mom happy because you got to make Miss Ann happy, or you have to deal with us. So let's go ahead and do our states really quick, and I probably missed some. I was trying to get them all though. We have Alabama, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Canada, and House 731, Mississippi, Connecticut, Illinois, Michigan, I'm getting Idaho, Kentucky, South Carolina, baby, from Low Fat Logan.
We want to visit Charlotte so bad.
Yes, we do.
So bad.
Yes, we do. New York.
Alex Hilliard says, how do you keep from being too hard on yourself?
Trinidad.
I'm really not a good person to ask on that. Like, I'm very competitive with myself.
Oklahoma,
on
Ohio.
everything from woodworking, weightlifting, running. Went for a run this morning. I get to do 2.5 miles. I'm like, you should have went 3, you lazy sucker. Why'd you go on 2.5? Or why'd you quit early? Why didn't you go 3? Like, it just, I don't know. You just kind of have to, at some point, be like, yeah, I'm all right with 2.5. Man, I'm kind of tired. I want to go home. So it's kind of the same thing with woodworking or anything you're building. At some point, you're going to wind up being detrimental to your project versus improving yourself. You just kind of have to find that happy medium. That's kind of it.
Sometimes it's hard.
It is hard. It's hard.
South Carolina, baby, should be the name of the state.
Mr. Mike, yeah, the wind bandsaw I couldn't resaw on because the blades weren't thick enough, and it just wasn't made for that. It only has like this much room under the guard. The new one I got, I think 13 inches I could resaw. It's a Rikon. There'll be a video on it at some point. I got to do, I don't know if I want to do a review of it. There's a bunch of those reviews out there on Rikon bandsaw. It's the 326 model. I may do a video where I just show, like, I don't know, what's the magic number? 5 projects that you can do on a bandsaw, or 5 things you can do, something in that spin, and show the bandsaw and talk about the features of it. It's a really good bandsaw. I've been extremely happy with it so far.
Excuse me. Mr. Tom says 5 hip surgeries. I don't run anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, Utah is here also. Trying to make sure I get all these.
Alaska. Trying to get these questions. I think.
Sorry, Mooseworks. Alaska's on here too. I did not get Alaska a while ago. Sure did not.
Vincent says, any hopes of the new trends or scrapwood projects coming soon? Scrapwood project's coming out Thursday. So I hope Thursday, if I can get the video back from the editor. I think he's going to have it back. It's just using like some couple of pieces of scrap plywood to make a shop project. So it's pretty cool. And matter of fact, Sunday, I should have a new desk build. It's super simple bed desk that's a plywood top that I had a piece of scrap leftover plywood for the top. And the legs were just a couple of pieces of 2x6s that I had left over that I cut down to 2x2s. Pocket holes. It looks really cool. I put some walnut edge banding around the outside just to cover the edge of that plywood, but you could do spruce or anything like that. So those, I guess, could be a scrap wood desk. So, yeah.
Okay. So we also have South Africa, Germany, and Australia in
We
here.
actually get quite a few South African viewers on the channel. I get emails from a lot of people from South Africa. So that's pretty cool. Yes, bless you.
Stormy Tornadoy. What is that?
Tornadoy.
Tornadoy.
JJ says, do you regret any purchases? Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
It is a good question. So this is kind of silly. I bought a wind hand planer, electric planer. It was like $20 at the time, but honestly, at the time when I bought it, it was more. It was $20, but the amount of money versus like I didn't have $20 to buy it, and I thought it would help me. I bought it, and $20 was a big deal to spend. It sounds silly, but it was, and I got it, and I've used it maybe twice. It's on the shelf out there, but there's a few things in the shop that I bought over the years. I'm like, why did I buy that kind of thing?
Jared was on here tonight, and I missed him.
But some things, Jared. I'm like, yeah, I'll probably use it one day.
Oh, Stephanie saw Jared, though. Jared was on here tonight. He said, bye, Miss Outlaw. And Steph told him, bye, Jared. I missed him. He was one of my kiddos last year. I didn't have him this year. I missed him. If you're still on here, Jared, good night. He said goodbye to me.
Mr. Bill Lloyd, a 2x2 is Southern for 2x2.
Who said that?
Mr. Bill
what's
Lloyd.
a 2x2? Southern Yak Fishing said, I love your videos, man.
Thank you.
I love your name, Southern Yak.
I like King Clack logo.
Damon says, was the power tilt worth repeating? For you it is, but only for you, Damon.
King Clack, I need that design in 731.
You got to tell Damon the power tip again.
Power tip is reinvest in yourself or your business. So take your profits, take your skills, and be sure to. So like even what I've done over the years is I have an Audible subscription, and I will listen to audiobooks while I work. And specifically, I like Stephen King books, but I also like business books, and I've read tons of them. Start with Why, Dream Big, Business Made Simple. Like there's several business books out there that really can open your eyes or give you new ideas for your business on how to market, how to think about things. Start with Why is an excellent book to start with, and then Dream Big is by far my favorite book I've ever read, I think. And it's just that good. Like it's a good book. It's the one I recommend everybody read. But anyway, it's another way to reinvest in yourself is to even if you don't buy an Audible subscription, you can buy the books on Amazon and read them physically if you want. But I like to do it on audiobook because I can work and listen at the same time. But it's always basically just trying to learn more things and trying to gain as much knowledge. And it's not really gaining knowledge is good, but if you just listen to it and don't apply any of it, then it really doesn't do you any good to listen to it. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind.
We have Murray Woodcraft on here from Ireland and says
awesome.
It's 2 a.m. there,
but
late. Worth it to catch the live.
Wow. Thank you, Murray.
That is so cool.
Thank you for saying that.
That's so cool. Mill Pond says he loves Stephen King, and Mr. Bill Lloyd has a question. Have you read Black House by Stephen King? It was a great book, he says.
I don't think I've read that one.
I don't think you've tried that one.
The last one, what's the name of that one right there? Darn it, it's covered up.
I can't see it from here.
The last one I read was about the Institute. It was pretty good. It's about a kid. Also, Eric Larson. If you like history, Eric Larson, The Splendid and the Vile. That's my most favorite history book. It doesn't read like history. It's told in a way, it's like a novel. It's like you're reading a novel, but it's all factual. Eric Larson is a master at telling stories like that. That's by far my favorite book, history book. He also has one on the Lusitania. He has one on mass murder or we call it a serial killer in Chicago in like the early 1900s. It's really good. I think it's like Ghost of the White City or something. I can't remember the exact name. Eric Larson, good dude. E-R-I-K.
No.
Larson.
If you want a good book, read The Silent Patient.
Yeah. Did I read that one?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We both read that one. I don't know how you say this guy's last name, but it's by Alex Michaelides.
Sure.
It is such a good book, but you have to, and it's a huge book.
Mm-hmm.
The Silent Patient. That'll give you something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
The Silent Patient. If you like Stephen King, read The Silent Patient. It'll give you something to think about. It's a really good book. It's very confusing though.
Alex, any woodworking books to start collecting for references? Man, if you'll send me an email, 731woodworks@gmail.com. I've got a few in the bedroom. I can't remember the name of them right now, but I'll send you the names of the ones I've picked up recently. That may help you out.
What are the woodworking projects on your to-do list right now?
So,
Youth Craft wants to know.
I'm going to build a miter stand. I also want to build some type of tool cart. The reason I haven't started the miter stand is because I'm not settled on a design. I want to shrink the one I've got. It's like 8 foot long now. It doesn't need to be that big. I need to make space for the bandsaw, so I'm going to shrink it to about 6 feet. Maybe. I may shrink it more than that. I also need to figure out how to store the planer, jointer, and all that in a better place. I actually dropped my jointer off the rolling cart the other night. So I need to figure out a way to store all this stuff. I'm thinking about putting a table under the CNC that lifts it up so that the other tools can roll under it. That would be probably the optimal place for those jointer and planer. They can just roll right under there, be out of the way. I don't really want a flip top cart thing. But anyway, those are on the horizon. I want to do another outdoor project soon.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure that out.
We've been talking about that, doing another outdoor build. Those seem to be fairly popular. But, what else? Anything else?
Nick Cross says, just started my own woodworking business, Wicked Whittler's Woodcraft.
Yep.
Thank you for all the inspiration to get this going. I love that name. And then you have a question on Facebook. I don't think you've answered it, from Greg Stewart. I have 2 pieces of oak from a tree I trimmed. Both are dry. Any suggestions on cutting with my bandsaw and what can I make? Both are approximately 6 inches in diameter and 2 feet long.
That's thick. Mm-hmm. You can make a mallet. Mallets be good projects. We got All Red Woodwork sent us a cutting board that's made out of, it has oak end grain, and it's held up extremely well. So that, and it's really pretty. Makes a really good cutting board, end grain cutting board. Mallets come to mind. I've got several mallets around, and I haven't built any out of oak. I had somebody send me one that was out of oak, but those will work really good because it's really hard wood.
Thank
There
you,
was one more
Papa's
question I was
Fritas.
trying to get to there.
He says, good to be in on another live. Love y'all. We love you too, Papa's.
Ron Norris says, would you prefer a joiner or a planer? Maybe both. If you can afford both, get both. I mean, they're both two different tools. They're going to do two different things. I probably would have picked up a jointer earlier on had I known how useful they were. And because you can face joint one side, edge joint one side, and then you've got two square edges or two square sides you can work with. So that from there you can take it to the table saw and cut the other side. Well, now you've got three square sides, and then you just have the one that wasn't through the planer that you're going to have to deal with. But yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. Our moderator says that's a wrap, folks. She says, may the good Lord bless you and keep you as you walk your journey this week. Sending love to each of you. We love you too, Steph.
Last one. Jeffrey Allen says, where do you get your coins for your inlays? Some are sent to me.
Thank you, Mr.
I've got
Dan.
some Vietnam veteran coins that I'm going to be doing a project with very, very soon. But Relentless Defender is where I've picked up most of those fallen officer coins. RelentlessDefender.com. So,
Mr. Dan says he's glad to see me feeling better.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yep. Thank y'all so much. We hope that y'all have a wonderful week.
Yep.
And
have
thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Good night.